Am I the asshole for making my ex a birthday cake even though his girlfriend told me she had already ordered one? I'm an amateur baker and I like to make cakes for people for their birthdays. My ex doesn't like sweet stuff, but our kids like helping me make a cake for him, so I normally make one for him anyway for their sakes. This year his girlfriend planned a party for him and she told me she had already ordered him a cake, so I didn't need to make one. I told her that was fine, but my daughter kept asking me when we would make her dad's cake and was upset when I said we wouldn't because she assumed I didn't like my ex and that's why I wouldn't make him one. Since the cake has always been more for the kids than for my ex, I decided to just make him a small one since it's not like he eats cake anyway and I don't want my kids to think I dislike their dad. I told his girlfriend beforehand that I was going to make a small cake and she told me not to and that I couldn't bring it to the party. I told her I had to bring it to the party as that's when the kids would give him his gifts. I offered to come early and give it to him before the other guests arrived and then they could put it away and nobody else would know about my cake, but she didn't agree with me and repeatedly told me not to bring it. I did take it with me in the end and now she keeps complaining to mutual friends that I did it on purpose to ruin the party and calling me weird for making him a cake after I was told not to. Am I the asshole? Red flagged. You were clear the cake was from the kids. The girlfriend is asserting her dominance. Any woman who says her boyfriend can't have a cake from his kids needs to think long and hard about being with someone with kids. Freaking out over a small cake from the kids, ruining a party is ridiculous. She is very insecure. Not the asshole. Yeah, even if I think Op was wrong, which I don't, I can't get past girlfriend telling everyone that an extra cake from a child ruined the party. If the presence of extra cake ruins your party probably sucks. That just tells us that it wasn't about the dad's birthday at all, it was about the girlfriend declaring possession. And mom messed that up by reminding everyone that dad has kids that aren't the girlfriend's kids. The wildest part of this is the birthday boy apparently doesn't even like cake, but both his current woman and ex feel so strongly that he needs cakes. And yeah, I know it's a party with guests and kids who all like cake, but it still strikes me as super weird since he is supposedly the guest of honor and there's like zero considerations for what he actually would like as a dessert. Wow, I just went back and reread that. Poor dude has two women who do not care about what he wants. Happy birthday to him. I hate beets with a passion. If my son wanted to make me beets for my birthday, you'd better believe I'd love those beets. Same. If my kids decided dad needs beets on his birthday, I'd destroy those beets like they were the finest Wagyu cooked to absolute perfection by Gordon Ramsay. Beets are disgusting. Not the asshole, it's just a cake. But, your children knowing that their parents are on good terms despite a divorce is more important than his new GFS feelings about her store-bought cake. I think your willingness to let her know you were still doing it and offering to bring it at a different time shows it's not about upstaging her and it's really for the kids. I also find it funny that the girlfriend even wanted to buy the guy a cake when he doesn't like it and probably won't eat it. Seems like the girlfriend wants to put herself before her boyfriend's kids just to spite original poster and get ahead. Not enough information. What does your ex say to all this? Right? Like he's the dad but appears to have no agency. He sits there, mutely, staring at all the cake he doesn't like. Hour by hour, a guest brings a cake to his house. They keep coming, there's no stopping them. Soon all you can see in the house are cakes piled on one another, but the flow of the frosted desserts does not stop. He's drowning. He yells for help, but nobody hears his cries as the cakes swallow him whole. Not enough information. Why didn't you explain to your daughter it wasn't BC you don't like your ex, that someone else who also cares about your ex got him a cake this year? You're basically centering your daughter in an event that's not about her. You're right. Except the kid is 4? I don't think 4-year-olds really understand it. I mean, I can understand that, but if it's something the daughter did as tradition and wanted to make her dad a cake, I don't see the big deal. Cool, the girlfriend got him a cake, but maybe it's just me, but I would never tell a child they can't make their parent a little personal cake. To me, that's setting off the wrong tone between all of them. Girlfriend can have her cake for everyone, kid can make a personal cake for dad. It's cake. No reason to fight. It's difficult to understand how the girl can be 4 yet this is also a tradition. At 4 they barely remember anything that happened a year ago. Also insinuating that mommy doesn't like daddy because she isn't baking a cake does not sound like something a 4-year-old would say either, and if the 4-year-old is mature enough to take the thought to that level then they should easily understand that mommy isn't making a cake because daddy's current girlfriend is making him one and she wants it to be special. Not saying the girlfriend isn't an asshole here too, but some of this stuff seems to me as the mom using the daughter as an excuse to one. Bake her own cake and show off, and 2. Do something to irritate new girlfriend while being able to put all of the weight on the kid wanting to do it. This is the key. A 4-year-old doesn't know anything about traditions. The girlfriend isn't behaving well either, but I think it's obvious this about original poster herself, and her interference in his new relationship. Everyone sucks here. Yup, exactly. I have a 5 and 6 years old, so I just got through this age. Daughter probably would have been perfectly happy making a cake, then making a video they send to dad singing happy birthday, then let the 4-year-old eat the cake. If the 4-year-old wanted to make a cake, it was probably more so she could eat it and just the fun of helping mom in the kitchen. I can literally sit here and think of dozens of solutions to this problem that don't explicitly break the one thing the girlfriend asked original poster to not do for the party that girlfriend is throwing, planning, and hosting. Not the asshole, it's a tradition for the kids. And kids are more important than partners. Plus you tried to work with them but they refused. You are the asshole. That's a weird hill for her to die on, sure. But, as the host, she is the one responsible for cake. Because she is the host. But it also baffles me how you couldn't find a way to tell your daughter that you don't hate her dad just because you didn't bake cake. With children, you can literally divert their attention to something else like, we make a cake every year, so this year we're doing something different for dad, how about decorated cookies? They would be just as happy, and no one would be upset. You could have dealt with it in 1,000 different ways, but you played that you had your hands tied in a situation that would very obviously stir shit, so I suspect that was your intention to begin with. That, or you're not very good at saying no to your kids, so your kids are going to walk all over you, or you'll end up in an entitled parent sub that gives your children whatever they want. I grew up with 2 households. When I read the part about her daughter's assumption, I was confused. I wouldn't have assumed that as a child in a similar situation. I know we're different people, but it made me wonder. Why did she reach that conclusion? It would be helpful to understand how the communication currently is original poster. Not the asshole, this is something the kids help do for dad. You explained the situation and offered compromises. What did your ex say? Does he enjoy having this tradition with the kids? Was he bothered by the other cake at all? The kids were there to celebrate dad's birthday and they always help with a cake. I don't care if they're 2, 12, or 22. This is not something that should cause an issue. I feel the girlfriend is being absurd. You could have brought the cake early and no one had to know. It's about the kids. It's not about you or her. It's such a small thing that could have been handled with 0 issues. I agree. Technically the kids made the cake even if original poster made it. I do wonder what the father feels about this. Everyone sucks here, my party was ruined because there were too many cakes, said nobody ever. The girlfriend was an asshole for not letting your ex's daughter bake him a cake for his birthday. Since she did, repeatedly, say no, however, you should have respected that. Maybe set up another time for your kids to give him his presents and their cake. It's good for kids to learn earlier rather than later in life that you can celebrate an occasion like a birthday on a different day. Why does girlfriend have any say about his kids making him a cake, even when their mom is involved? I mean, girlfriend can politely ask, but she turned asshole the moment she put her own wishes above those of his kids and full on B when she started talking shit to mutual friends. If my girlfriend would ever do shit like that, I'd kick her out of the house and throw her cake after her. Only thing original poster could have done better would have been to inform X about the situation, unless there was a surprise to ruin, so he could have decided if he cared about his daughter's or his girlfriend's feeling more, because girlfriend's action didn't hurt so much original poster, who would have been okay with no cake, but much more the kids who needed it as a ritual for security and stability in a situation that messes up kids on the regular. This whole thing smells like girlfriend having not enough confidence to handle good co-parenting by X and original poster without assuming they are rivals, so she tries to pick up the stuff original poster is doing to make her redundant, not understanding that she's ruining her relationship to the kids as well to the mother of his kids by trying to replace them. If girlfriend doesn't get over her insecurity and learns to accept that she started a relationship that involves more than her and him, this either will end in a breakup, or if he's a sucker for love, it's the kids who gonna suffer most. You are the asshole. There were so many moments that you could have prevented this by using good communication. You could have explained your children that there would already be a birthday cake. You could have taken the initiative to let your children help you make cookies or something else instead of a cake. You could have explained to the girlfriend that your children want to bring something and ask her what other than a cake would be needed for the party. You know damn well that making that cake would piss the new girlfriend off. Stop using your children as an excuse. Thank you. Had to scroll down to see logic. If you making a cake once a year defines how the kids perceive you liking your ex or not, I think we have some other issues. There were so many great solutions here. Key 1: Communication. Not the asshole, it's a tradition that your kids do for their father, his girlfriend's wishes are secondary to that relationship. Emo. Part of dating someone with kids is respecting that they'll have traditions that may or may not include her. One of the best gifts you can give your children is to learn to be flexible. It doesn't mean they have to abandon the tradition, because I think traditions are very important, but maybe they could have made cookies, cupcakes, or even an appetizer for the party. I think it's always a good idea to think about why you have the tradition and what is most important about it and what can be bent a little bit to still honor the tradition, have fun while also allowing for shifting situations. I agree with your statement below that kids trump girlfriend, but it doesn't mean you can just completely disregard changing situations. There are things that could be done to keep the meat of the tradition while also respecting dad and his girlfriend. Or, the girlfriend could have been the one who was flexible and understanding. I find it weird she was so against a traditional small cake. All these YTA responses are mad. Trying to reason with a child about how her dad's new girlfriend is bringing a cake is just nonsense. You're totally not the asshole. You gave plenty of workarounds too, which she could have picked very easily. I know I'm baffled. Young children wanted to make dad a cake for dad's birthday. So they did. Insecure folk want to make this a "you must still want him" conversation instead of "my children want to do this nice thing for their dad." Not the asshole, he's not just your ex, he's the father of your child. If he was just an ex, the verdict would be different. Girlfriend needs to accept that you will forever be in your ex's life and she can't control everything. Kids trump adult drama. Not the asshole, because this greater than "but our kids like helping me make a cake for him, so I normally make one for him anyway for their sakes." Has been you helping your kids make their dad a cake over the years. Not you baking for him. So she wasn't trying to stop you from bringing a cake, she was trying to stop his kids from giving him their annual cake and presents. I agree that you should have discussed this with your ex too though. Let him be the one to tell the kids why their tradition has to end if that's the case. If you try saying anything about having to stop baking because the girlfriend doesn't want you to, it might turn into, "Oh, you're trying to turn the kids against me, my girlfriend." She sounds like the type, so you're kinda damned if you do, damned if you don't. Everyone sucks here. She thinks this is about you making your ex's birthday cake and agree, that's overstepping. You think this is about the kids making their dad a birthday cake. Ask your ex to settle this, ask him to tell future partners that he wants his kids to make him a birthday cake or tell his kids that he doesn't. Ex doesn't even like cake, so he probably doesn't want to decide. But yeah, bad communication from every side involved. Not enough information. How did your ex, their dad, feel about the cake? It's so weird that nobody is touching on how he felt. They're his kids too and it's party. She commented that he always acts excited about the cake when the kids present it to him. So even if he doesn't like cake, or doesn't want cake, he's enforcing to the young kids that he loves the cake they help make him, so naturally they'd insist they have to make him his cake this year too. I still don't get why the party was the only time the kids could give their dad the cake. There is the night before, all throughout the day after. You could have billed it as the children and their daddy times to celebrate. If this was all about the kids, you could have shown that better. You just wanted to put the new girlfriend in her place. You are the asshole, not for making the cake, but how you went about this, in my opinion. Sincerely hope you ignore all of the assholes in here, and accept that the most important thing here is your kids, and ensuring that they see a healthy co-parenting relationship between you and your ex is essential. Girlfriend is overstepping by dictating that your kids can't help make a cake that they are essentially giving as a gift to him on his birthday, and blowing this way out of proportion. It ruined a party, that an extra small cake shows up? What? Just say, "Thank you," and put it down somewhere. Not the asshole times a million. Not the asshole times at least as many people who are going to come in here and tell you you are an asshole, and then not the asshole one more time. I say you are the asshole because you could have told your kids you were doing something different this year and not made the cake, then found something else they could do like make a card. You knew it wasn't wanted. Seems odd to bring a cake after being told not to. I would still have made the cake with the kids, but I would not have presented it at the party. Maybe the kids could have given dad their cake at a different time, a special little thing just for them. Sometimes these traditions are important to little ones. I understand it can be difficult to navigate these situations while co-parenting, and I feel like the right solution usually involves a compromise that puts the kids first. Not enough information. How old are the kids, specifically the daughter who was asking about dad's cake? My kids are 2, 4, daughter who asked about the cake, and 5. Not enough information. Original poster you reference mutual friends. Has she raised this with your ex and what was his response on the day? If she's raised it with him, neither of them have mentioned it to me. On the day he was acting excited because the kids made him a cake, but he always does that to make them happy. Thanks totally reinforces my not the asshole verdict. She does not want to raise it with him because she doesn't want to have a conversation to say that she asked that the kids not make a cake. Shady at best and the result of knowing she wasn't doing the right thing. Ignore the you are the asshole. Exactly how petty would she have looked stomping her feet and telling tales because his children baked him a cake? Question mark.